stay tuned. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. I see y'all in here, man. Make sure y'all stay tuned. We'll get a shout out next break. So make sure that y'all stay tuned, all right? Happy Monday to everybody.
Say it again, say it again. You're saying you're sorry, so say it again. Only you can make my world go black. Say you love me, then you take it back. Say it again, say it again.
Good morning, Mama. Mama has entered the chat. Mama has entered the chat. Good morning, Mama.
You're my thunder of my darkest night. You just can't go back and make it right. 'Cause it's too late.
Y'all make sure you stay tuned. I'm getting this coffee in me this morning, so we have a great morning. We already having a good one. Shout out Environmental Coffee House. She said this is my favorite channel on the planet besides my own. LOL. Hey man, I heard that Environmental Coffee House has a great page with some environmental resources and some different things on there. Y'all check out our sister, our friend, Environmental Coffee House's page. Okay, make sure y'all check it out, please.
No, I'm not even sorry. You're gonna be the lonely one. I'm in a better place now. I'm not gonna worry. No, I'm not even sorry. You're gonna be the lonely one. Say it again, say it again. You're saying you feel bad, so say it again.
Shout out to Kanye West who dropped his album yesterday. Finally, being petty
My
was
heart
great.
was open wide.
Grown men being petty against each other. It's hilarious.
Deep inside, 'cause it's too late. Your time is up. Damage done and now we're stuck. 'Cause it's too late. Roll the dice, and now you have to pay.
Happy birthday, DP. Today is DP's birthday, y'all. 35th birthday. Shout out to DP, man. Y'all make sure y'all show DP some love in the chat, all right?
No, I'm not even sorry. You're gonna be the lonely one. I'm in a better place.
Shout out to KFZ, man. KFZ had us cracking up on Friday. God dang
I'm not
KFZ.
even sorry. You're gonna be the lonely one. I'm in a better place now.
Kev is funny as hell, man.
Yeah, Kev is funny as hell.
I'm not even
Me and
sorry.
Poppy
You're
in.
gonna be
Poppy
the
in.
lonely one. I'm in a better place now. I'm not gonna worry. I'm not even sorry. You're gonna be the lonely one.
The canceled Avengers, what?
Everything is upside down.
Tiger, you stupid, bro. Tiger say Kanye was out here hanging out with Marilyn Manson and the baby trying to assemble the cancel
I
Avengers.
see you pass me by, and you don't walk alone.
That shit was funny. It was funny as hell. It was. I've been watching the live stream All right, y'all. It's time for the show to restart, man. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. See whatever it is you need to get, man. The Benjamin Dixon Show is back, y'all. Stay tuned.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, August 30th, 2021. It is the birthday of the chairman, Fred Hampton, who would be, I believe, 73 today, if my math is right. But the reason he's not with us today is because he was assassinated by the Chicago Police Department. And I just want to recognize his birthday as well as the birthday of my sister. I think there's a lot of people. So shout out to everyone who's celebrating birthdays today. Shout out to my sister, who has been my standard bearer for all of my life. August 30th is a significant day. So thank you to Chairman Fred Hampton, because I learned a lot from that brother. I want to go back. DJ Exclusive, thank you for what you're doing over there, man, on the ones and twos. Man, go grab your coffee.
Okay, I appreciate it, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, man. Because, if I get going, I'll be on a long rant and you'll be looking at the screen like, I need my coffee, Ben. I need my coffee. So we're going to get right back to, I want to go right back to the conversation about the March on Washington, Georgia. And one, thank you for getting all of that amazing footage, that amazing high quality footage. I want to play, David, the clip of the brother. And Georgia, could you introduce this brother again? The one that was at the original March on Washington that you got a chance to interview.
Yeah, his name is Leo Burrows, and he was at the original March on Washington 1963. He had the button on his hat, and I recognized it as I was passing through the crowd. And so we stopped and spoke, and we'll share the full length interview. The piece I put together is just kind of a combination of clips from everyone. But yeah, if we could just play the one clip, he talks about, where we were then and what it was like to be there amongst those 250,000 people, as Brother Carl pointed out, right? What they were fighting for then. And then what it's like to be here 58 years later at the same place, and to talk about how far we've come, but also acknowledge that some things just haven't changed.
Let's take a look.
Racial of the struggle. Went to the original march, and I was so proud to be there and to be a part of the struggle. And I might say that so much has not changed, regrettably.
Leo Burrows Jr. was at the original march in 1963, and he keeps coming back to fight for equal rights.
Racial oppression and voting rights are still issues. Police brutality is still an issue.
Patricia Debrick served as a marshal at the monumental 20th March on Washington, and she agrees.
We still have a dream. We have not arrived. So I'm marching for the justice for us as human beings. I'm appalled and devastated in how they've written these new laws. These Republicans are writing these bogus statements of you cannot vote. If you read it, no water, no voting on the weekends. I mean, what kind of logic is there? We have educated people in the White House, and they writing these ridiculous, bogus, arrogant things and expect someone to actually uphold them.
Voting rights was the focus this year following months of Republican-led attacks on voter protections. Yolanda Renee King, the 13-year-old granddaughter of MLK, isn't old enough to vote, but says the way you vote affects her too.
I march because I'm tired of elected officials putting themselves first. To be honest, I am disgusted by the behavior of many of our leaders. In this country, it's easier to register to own a gun than it is to register to vote.
MLK's son, the president of NAACP, Al Sharpton and Ben Crump were among a list of about 36 speakers. Nearly everyone advocating to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
There is no filibuster that can stand in the way of a people determined to get their rights. And that's why in the blistering heat, we came to Washington to say, we are not going to let you filibuster away our voter protection.
Georgia, that is, Georgia, this is some compelling footage. And that little sister that is Dr. King's granddaughter. I felt power in every single one of those interviews, but that little sister was speaking some fire. Tell us more.
Yeah, she's 13. And the crazy thing is she got up there and then everybody is like, wait a minute, we're talking about voting rights and you're not even old enough to vote. And at the end of the day, she's absolutely right that our votes impact her.
That's
and so
right.
why shouldn't she have a say?
That's right.
On voting rights. And,
but
she embodies the spirit of her grandfather. I think even more so than his son, if you ask me. Every time I've heard her speak, she spoke last year as well. It's always a riveting speech. You always walk away just feeling captivated and moved by what she said, and you hear the truth and the courage to stand in front of the Capitol and say that the politicians who are leading on voter suppression discussed her at 13. That is a serious declaration, but
That is.
baby girl is right. And we should listen. We should listen to our youth because they're our future. And so if we allow the Republicans who have been leading on voter suppression to dismantle the protections that our ancestors fought for, then we're going to be passing off the baton to her with, you know, a lot more work to do than the position we were put in, right? When the baton was passed to us.
Brother Matt.
You know, Georgia, the thing that I absolutely loved about the young sisters, her insight, where she converged two huge issues that we're dealing with now. We're dealing with the issue of gun control. We're dealing with the issue of voter suppression. And she says it is easier to purchase a gun in this country than it is to register to vote. How much more damning can that be against the concept of democracy?
That's right.
Right. So again, I'm with Ben. I think the footage that you just shared with us was just absolutely moving, insightful. So thank you so much.
George, when should the audience expect your full report?
So I'll be publishing this on my page at about 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern today. And then throughout the day, rolling out some of those longer interviews and some of the more captivating speeches that we heard.
Oh, you mean this morning?
Yes.
Yes. See, since you out here, you ain't playing. You just landed. Like you landed while I was sleeping and you're ready to get this stuff out already.
Yeah, you know, the only difference between me and the networks is that they have a team and I'm flying solo. So if I had the resources that mainstream had, it would have been out on Saturday.
GeorgiaFort.com is where they can go and do that and support you.
Absolutely.
GeorgiaFort.com. There's a click here to donate and support. Y'all go support this sister because, well, just because. But then number two, we're gonna make sure that you got a team next time around because these are the stories, Brother Mac and Sister Fort. These are the stories that we are not getting at the substantive level that you're bringing them. So thank you so much for your work there. I want to shift now to Afghanistan with the time that we have left because it is an ongoing situation. President Biden has struck a drone strike in retaliation against ISIS-K. And there are so many updates. So I want to start with this first clip. David, run this first clip so we can set the context of our conversation on Afghanistan.
Of Taliban fighters grabbing 14-year-old girls, and I mean, I would call it a forced marriage, but it's not a marriage. It's forced rape and slavery. I mean, what happens to these girls?
It's part of the reason why we were there for 20 years, right? We were in the business of trying to stand up an Afghan government that would be able to protect those girls. And in the end, the Afghan government and the security forces decided not to fight for them. The question is, should we have stayed there forever in order to protect those advances in part of the country? Remember, the Taliban, by the time 2021 rolled around, already controlled more than half of the country. It's a tough question, Jake, but I think if you ask my constituents, they were not necessarily willing to sacrifice another 20 years of American blood and treasure as to the question of who controls Afghanistan. I know that's a really hard conversation, but there are really awful despotic regimes all around the world. And the United States does not make the decision to send our troops into every single one when we have an issue with the human rights decisions of a particular foreign regime.
Obviously not all going to get out by
Let's
the
pause it
deadline.
there.
They just aren't. So
let's pause it there because that was Senator Chris Murphy discussing with Jake Tapper about the complicated nature. There are going to be challenges to women's rights, clearly. Anywhere in the world where you have a far right wing government that is driven by theocratic demands. I mean, these are fundamentalists, right? Religious fundamentalists anywhere are a threat to women's rights. He is absolutely right. Jake Tapper is actually absolutely right to be concerned there. But I do like, Brother Mac, how Senator Murphy actually contextualize it and say, hey, there are problems all over the globe. Yeah, we were there for 20 years, but we can't continue to stay there because the United States has recognized despotic regimes all across the globe.
And see, Ben, you touched on my very soul. You know, when you say you contextualize it, there are problems all over the world. So as I'm listening to him, I'm thinking to myself, you have no authenticity or credibility with me when you look at the nonsense that's going on with Black folks here in America, and you want to talk that nonsense. Just shut up. I couldn't hear him, man. And I couldn't really speak about him because that's all I could see was just the lack of authenticity and sincerity when you want to talk to me about protecting anybody else in the world around human rights. And you've been in this country for 400 plus years and we still dealing with the shit we dealing with. I couldn't hear him, Ben. I just couldn't. I'm going to leave that one there.
We hear you, though. Sister Mac. Oh, so that's not, I'm sorry. For the record, that is my error. Sister Ford.
Well, you know, and this isn't a laughing matter at all. When I was in DC before I left, I stopped by the White House and there was a group of Afghan natives who were starting to assemble on the lawn, and they were begging Biden to protect their country. And you know, to see that image on the day when I learned that there was a third attack, a third explosion, and still we were 2 days away from that August 31st withdrawal date that Biden said we were staying on track with, and now, you know, promises of retaliation and all of our troops out, you know, our allies out, and so now it feels so counterproductive that we get committed to exiting in such a rush, and then now, you know, are we going to go back in? You know, at the end of the day, you know, war, to break down war by itself, you know, is we've wasted so much money, we've wasted so much time. We got Osama bin Laden, but did we really accomplish those objectives that we set out to accomplish? And then now here we are again, just responding, you know. And so I think it's a dangerous place to live in response, right? We went there after 9/11 in response, and so now we're responding again. And at some point, our nation has to stand on the integrity of our character.
That's right.
And not always just respond. You know, I give this example. Last thing I'll say here is, if a person says that they're nonviolent and someone comes and spits in their face and they punch them in the eye, you wouldn't blame them, right, for punching the person in the eye because they spit in their face. That's gross. You wouldn't blame them, but would you still consider them to be a nonviolent person? You know, and so you can't allow your character to be driven by how you respond to other people. And so I feel like, you know, our nation, it's like, what is our backbone? What are we standing on? What are our values? What is the integrity of the culture of our country? And I feel like that was something that used to be so clear, but it doesn't feel like it's clear anymore.
I want to give a couple of updates here, but I also want to start because you mentioned how many allies are left. And there's a clip from National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who discusses that in context of our allies, or American citizens, I want to be precise, in context of American citizens, not even the troops and not our allies, but we are down to a population of about 300 American citizens who have yet to be evacuated that need to get out of Afghanistan. Let's take a look at that clip.
All going to get out by the deadline. They just aren't. So what happens to them after Tuesday?
So first, Jake, we believe that we're down to a population of 300 or fewer American citizens who have yet to get out. We have evacuated more than 5,000. We evacuated well more than 300 just yesterday. So we believe there's still an opportunity for American citizens to get to the airport, get on planes, and get home. But you're right, August 31st is not a cliff. After August 31st, we believe that we have substantial leverage to hold the Taliban to its commitments to allow safe passage for American citizens, legal permanent residents, and the Afghan allies who have travel documentation to come to the United States.
Georgia and Brother Mac, I want to get your thoughts on the condition, particularly the situation, particularly from the perspective of the Biden administration. This is his national security advisor, Brother Mac, discussing the fact that we are approaching that deadline. We still have a population of American citizens, which means we still have a population of allies, which means we still have a population of troops that are still in Afghanistan. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's hard for me to understand that if you know that your count is down to 300, I'm just trying to understand those 300, given the climate of here. Is it that the Taliban is not allowing them to get to the airport? And again, because of the strike that America had using a drone, we got to have some level of technology, some kind of communication that says, look, let's get to you 300 people, please get to the airport. Let us get you up out of here. Yeah. So that part of it, there's just a lot of uncertainty about it, but I'm glad that we are down to 300 Americans to be evacuated out there. I certainly want to know where we are with our allies and our troops as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we knew it was going to get to this at some point when Biden announced this very ambitious exit withdrawal. I just don't think people anticipated the attacks. And so now in the face of the attacks, there is this heightened concern of whether or not everyone is going to make it out, And I definitely want to send my condolences to the 13 U.S. service members who lost their lives in those attacks.
Yeah.
The one thing, though, again, with Biden just being responsive and just throwing out there that there's going to be retaliation so soon, right? You make that announcement on an international platform before everybody is out. What do you think that your opposition is going to do when you say I'm going to retaliate? Do you think they're going to make it easy for you to leave? And so I think he did that prematurely, even if that was his strategy. And ultimately, we lost 13 people. Who have fought for this nation. But by him saying that there's going to be retaliation so quickly, I feel like he's jeopardized all of us. And and the thought of us going back to war, what position is that going to put our economy in if we just keep throwing dollars at this war? So
come on.
We're not only losing people in the war, but our entire nation is losing its economical future and quality of life.
Ooh, I'm trying to go to these updates, but y'all are hitting. Because that's exactly right. Right. The thing is, though, we've seen that while it is detrimental to the American populace, and certainly detrimental to the people of Afghanistan, because when I consider the perspective of someone from Afghanistan, it inverts my entire analysis. And but before I get there, because you almost sent me there, Georgia, with your analysis, because you're absolutely right. The response to the attack on the lives of those 13 soldiers that died, the Biden administration sent and carried out a drone attack that took out the suspected ISIS-K planner of the Kabul airport attack, according to theguardian.com. The U.S. conducted a drone strike on a vehicle in a Kabul neighborhood that has killed 9 people, including allegedly a number of children. According to the local reports, this figure has not yet been confirmed, according to theguardian.com. Again, I'm reading from The Guardian. The U.S. Central Command has said it is assessing the possibility of civilian casualties. And this is casualties caused in the closing moments of the Afghanistan war in response to the attack by ISIS-K. Also, according to a joint statement of coalition countries from nearly 100 countries, including the United States, the Taliban has committed to, and this is according to The Guardian, committed to allowing safe passage for people wanting to leave Afghanistan. But all of this said, the drone strike, which is, and again, I have two lenses. From the American perspective, it is a standard response, a retaliatory response in response to ISIS-K. From the Afghanistan perspective and the perspective of those potential children that were killed, it's unfathomable to think about the families who are now living in the disaster and the tragedy that was compounded by ISIS-K and carried out by this drone strike. But it was not enough for the very Republicans who are at the core of this, salivating at the opportunity to send more money from war to those defense contractors in Virginia. Let's take a listen to this clip of Ralph Norman, who's a Republican from South Carolina, a representative from South Carolina, that despite the fact that Joe Biden responded with a standard American retaliatory response, he said the following. He downplays that drone strike and said, one drone strike, one ISIS member, I mean, that's really an embarrassment. Take a listen to this absurd clip.
Have dead Americans, got 5,000 that are left there, and one drone strike killing, one ISIS member. I mean, really, it's an embarrassment. And I don't see anything coming of it because look at his action, look at his record.
Now, that drone strike took out a member of ISIS, but also killed children, but it's still insufficient for the bloodlust of Republicans. Georgia, let's start with you and Brother Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should have gotten all of our troops home safely before thinking about retaliating. I think, as soon as you double down and now you're trying to do two things at once, we don't even know if we've gotten across the finish line on our first priority, which was getting everybody home safe. And we know that regardless if we do get everybody else out, that we lost 13. And in the process, 90 Afghans, as well as more than 100 people injured. And so then to just keep causing harm, where does it end? I just think at some point over the span of 20 years, I mean, you've done enough damage, right? And so I just feel like the airstrike and the retaliation, while maybe it would have been an idea for after everybody gets home, I just don't think it was wise to go in and do it so quickly.
Brother Mac. And actually, Brother Mac, before you get in there, let me give one point of clarification. It is the second, there are two drone strikes. The second drone strike is the one that killed the kids and took out a suspected member, suicide bomber. The first drone strike took out an airport planner, but they are both connected to retaliating against ISIS-K. What are your thoughts, Brother Mac?
Clearly the imperfection of war, the soup sandwich is getting soupier.
That's true.
And I'm with Georgia. There's no reason why in the midst of your reaction that you want to now retaliate now when you still have American citizens, American soldiers, and our allies still in Afghanistan. So I'm not so impressed with the decision to do that.
Yeah.
And again, even when the suicide bomber struck and took the lives of American soldiers and so many other Afghans, hearing President Biden react to it was absolutely identical to hearing George Bush react to the terrorist attack of 9/11. And based on what he said, which is almost identical to what Biden said, well, the only way that you're going to live up to those words, Mr. President, is if you go back and reoccupy Afghanistan. Now, as it applies to the drone strike, what I see is this. To your point being, you can look at the situation through different eyes. To some people, we're warriors going in there, we're peacekeepers. To somebody else, you are marauders, right? And so now America has launched a drone strike. And let's not forget, you killed, that drone strike killed 9 people, 6 of which were children, who from some accounts, have nothing to do with ISIS, nowhere near the terrorist attack radar, right? But America, maybe, just maybe, you just put them there. See, what you just killed was somebody's cousin, somebody's best friend,
Somebody's
Yeah.
baby.
children, somebody's grandchildren, and now you've given these people a reason to hate you.
That's right. Listen, we're gonna get out of here because we're getting ready to come up with To Like It or Not with Rebecca Zor and Georgia. I see, but
Yeah.
those
I
are
mean,
children.
and that's the thing, is like to have this conversation about the children who have been killed while I'm holding my own child.
Yes.
You know, and there's a part of war that disassociates with humanity.
That's right.
And how can you do that? How can you do that as a nation? How can you do that for 20 years? And so for me, the war and choosing to continue this, right? I thought we were done. I thought we were withdrawing, and here we are, and we're allowing something that they do, their ill intent, which what is that based on, right?
That's
Why
right.
what was behind their act of violence and their attack at that airport? What was behind that? And why do we have to respond to it?
That's
right?
right.
Why do we have to have blood on our hand, the blood of children? There's no humanity in that. And so it's just hard for me. It's like, yeah, I understand the tactics of war and all of this, but at some point you have to value humanity more than that, you know. And it brings me back to the character of our country. Who are we? What do we stand for?
But Ben, let me get this in, Georgia. Make no mistake about it. You know, as I'm watching you there hold your beautiful child, right? Trust and believe they get one of mine. I'm not necessarily sure that I want to have a sledgehammer to get the mosquito, but I'm going to get the damn mosquito.
For 20 years?
You know,
For 20 years, because like we did that. We did that for 9/11, right? We went with the sledgehammer and we got them back. And so so every single time, at what point do you say, okay, you're a fool and I'm gonna let you be a fool, but I have to go and run my country?
No. What I'm saying, Georgia, is I'm going to get the mosquito. It's just that America has shown that she could be extremely surgical when she did that, which AKA SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Very surgical, right?
Yeah.
So I can identify who they are.
That's right.
Because what should not have happened is that baby girl that you are holding, that was somebody else's baby girl in Afghanistan, and those children should not have been casualties of war.
That's
America could have been a lot more strategical. We could have been a lot more surgical. Again, I'm not going to dismiss the mosquito. I'm going to get you. I'm just going to be surgical. There's no reason to use the hammer and cause this type of catastrophic loss. The loss of these children could have very well been avoided. And that should not go under the category, America, of casualty of war.
Come on. Sister Fort, and y'all both preaching.
I mean, I feel like, our country is not operating from a place of integrity. Our country is operating from a place of ego. And I think that we don't want to lose.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. At what point do you write off your loss and keep moving forward and doing what's best? But instead, we're withdrawing, then we're going back, and more people are dying.
Yeah. As much as Georgia, as much as and Brother Mac, y'all know this speaks to my heart. We're going to cover this again tomorrow and the next day, as long as we need to. But at this present moment, we're out of time. Georgia, and your hands are full. Thank you for your commitment to your work and being here on screen, even though your daughter is saying it's time to go. Brother Mac, it's always a pleasure. Y'all have a good one. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have miles to cover. Rebecca Zor is going to join us. DJ Exclusive is going to join us. We've got to cover Joel Osteen and how he is responding now to the hurricane versus how he responded to the hurricane a few years ago. We have more from Right Wing Watch, evangelicals going crazy. So much more to go. We'll be back after this break.
Collective ball, famous
Good morning again, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We got more show coming up next. Like it or not, starts in a few minutes, y'all. So make sure that y'all stay tuned. All right, it's your boy DJ Exclusive on the 1 and 2s. Good morning, everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat this morning that's doing their thing. I see y'all. Good morning, Goku. Barbara, good morning. Environmental Coffee House, Rolling Dragon. We miss you on Monday. Tyler Hackler, good morning. Anna Hart, Sunny Wright, good morning. Black Brown TV, welcome and good morning. Kareem Ramsey, Miss Nuru, good morning. The Pioneers, Shoot the Dragon, good morning. Michael 147, E. Smith, good morning. Afraid Not, Bobby John, good morning. E. Walker, Beta Soy Boy, good morning to you. Yankee Strong, I love it. On and on to go, Say Dragon, good morning. Brother Latif, good morning. L. Bertelstein, forgive me, okay? I got a band moment, all right? Forgive me. Antonio Jackson, good morning. Kelly Logain, Jonathan, good morning. Shout out to Sister Savage Dragon. Good morning, Savage Dragon. She was cutting up on Friday. Brenda Johnson, good morning. Jasmine, good morning to you. Mom and Daddy, good morning to you. And yes, Ben, I did say I had a Ben moment. Had to juxtapose it with something. Anna Hart, good morning. Mark S, good morning to you. Big Boy GMC21, good morning. Let me see. Shout out to Brother Chuck D-Soul in the building. Luke Kane, good morning. Brother Lou. Antonio, good morning. Seahorn. Susan, good morning. Patricia, good morning. Good morning. Esther, good morning. Rian Reynolds, good morning. Shout out Jasmine C. Masleek. C. Masley, good morning. Peter Griffin, good morning to you. And y'all, shout out to Alicia too. Good morning, Alicia. All right, because we got spammed the hell out of something with we were talking. So shout out to Webcam that spammed us 1,000 times in the chat room. You know, we getting that copy spam in. We are having arrived officially. But good morning again, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, like it or not. It's coming up next, and I've been trying to get this song on for the longest, so shout out to Jam Tomb for sending this over. We're going to take a listen and see what it's giving y'all. Here we go. And good morning, Q. Good morning to you. Jay Brown, good morning to you. Carly Witt, Anna Hart, good morning, y'all. Peter Griffin is a dad joke in itself, right?
So you gonna shoot a brother in the back? Black mother at a doorstep. Impale a brother on a tall fence. Another brother shakes till he got no life left. Take the body back.
Shout out DP. Good morning,
no respect,
DP.
Gungy bulls don't give a shit. The young fellas get chased into the river and their bodies
Yeah,
turn
David
up
is driving me crazy about he is trying to make it known about this artist. The artist is Barca, okay? Barca, indigenous artist, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all check her out.
Why my people gotta die? Ain't shit changed since we've been colonized.
Nat A, good morning, Nat A.
We still gotta fight to stop us keep taking lives. I'm sick of it. Sick of being traumatized, scrolling down my timeline till we lost another life.
Hey, Mr.
I wanna hear less nation, but
Good morning. Shout out, Brother Tiger. Good morning, Tiger. Love Life. Good morning.
This my war cry. How many more of my
Bake
people
Reuben Zeta, good morning.
Kareem,
good morning to you. TC Cook, yes it is. People Low Frequency, happy Monday.
Ready for the day in Miami, we pray. I pray that a small gear don't stay safe, and I hope that our babies get to see better days. Questioning if anything's ever gonna change. Locked in the cell and the smells real strange. Locked in my mind.
Good morning, B.
I'll never simulate. I'm a proud Dubai. There's what's about, need to get the picture. If you don't stand with blacks, no, I ain't rocking with ya. Black lives matter. Our lives matter. They got blood on their hands.
Right, Brenda. Tiger not pull up on the ops. David really wants this song to happen, y'all. He thought I had to play it again. David know I don't play no repeats on the same show. Let's just still fly because, you know, Ben likes that song 1,000 times. Yes, definitely. It's definitely going in the repertoire. So we'll have it in there. We always love to hear new music. And if you have any non-copyrighted music, friends or people, or independent artists, send them our way, y'all. Let's see what happens. Because now make sure that they are non-copyrighted, because some say they are, but they still have stipulations from their label that recorded the song. So make sure that they have all those clearances, they can share the song and play it as many times as they need to, and then we can try to get it on, okay? Barbara, good morning. I appreciate you. Nick, good morning, Nick. I appreciate you. Good morning. West unright, rest right. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. I guess the order was okay. West unrest right.
It's either prison or a grave. That's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down low, I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through.
Kelly Low Game, good morning to you.
People who persecute you, it's still a tough light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being petty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you're ready. Cause I ain't working on my own timing. Ain't got no diamonds on me, but I stay shining. Yeah, yeah. They say the world would be a better place if we take out the hate. Stop all the hate right now. Yeah. Let's keep it real, it'd be better if we just subtract the fake. Yeah, so be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right.
All right, y'all, I'm back. What's it? Unhooks. In this program, we have to restart everything.
No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no.
Lily, good morning.
I'm not your girl and I never
Six Dragon Daddy, good morning to you, brother. Good morning.
Don't waste your time, cause I'll be your enemy. If you want love, look somewhere else. He'll find nothing. Just give it up. I'm not
Is she logging in? Because then we have to take a whole nother break.
Don't get me wrong. You and I could have fun together when I feel done with having fun on my own. It's better to care for yourself than rely on somebody else. So don't get me wrong. I'm just riding alone. Just walk away, cause I got no intentions of hanging out with you tonight. Don't look my way. If you want a problem, I'll give you a problem, alright? If you want love, just give it up. You got the wrong girl. You got the wrong, you got the wrong, you got the
All right, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. What is this? So this morning.
This is my time. I'm feeling good. Rule every party. See how I shine when I'm alone.
Did you know corduroy pillows are in style? Did y'all know? Did you know? Corduroy pillows are in style. They're making headlines. Y'all don't get it. Corduroy
You
pillows.
are going, James, I can't with you.
Hey, a cheeseburger walks into a bar. The bartender says, sorry, we don't serve food here.
I
hate you.
Wait. I once had a dream I was floating in an ocean of orange soda. It was more of a fantasy.
All right, let's.
David on that intro. Good morning,
deal
y'all.
with
Like
you.
it or not, it's starting now.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Hey, if a child refuses to nap, are they guilty of resisting arrest?
You know, James. Good morning, and welcome. I hate you.
Welcome to Like It or Not, where if you tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it. It doesn't matter which way it goes. We're gonna hold it down. We're gonna hold it down regardless. James, I want to say I hate you and I hate jag jokes, but that would be a lie.
Man, I got another one that's going to be for the after party that I heard over the weekend, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to use that.
Listen, speaking of over the weekend, I got to take a second to thank everybody who came to the patron party Friday night. Shout out to y'all making my Friday night like that was live, brother. I went outside. Man. It was so much fun. I had to get from behind my computer, log in on my phone, and I went outside. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out there doing the cha-cha with my phone in first person. And it was that fun. So thank you to all of our supporters who came out Friday night. James, you held it down, definitely.
Bro. And Ben stayed on to the end. Ben and David made it to the very end. And hell, they probably would have stayed up. It was me that clocked out.
It was you.
It's 2 o'clock. I gotta go.
Jay, listen, man. Listen, bro. Let me tell you. There are occasions where I can party. Listen. I used to party 7 nights a week in South Florida. Mm-hmm. Literally every night of the week, we were at somebody's club partying. So I can do it. It's just I'm old now, man. I'm in my I can't do it 7 days a week. I can do it twice a month where I'll party until the sun comes up. That's all I got. Twice a month.
Look, you know me. Now I can't go out at all. So damn next. Now these days it's just like, do I go out now? I actually went out on Saturday night, just like to a bar or whatever, had me a couple of drinks, and that was it. Do you know how long I stayed in there?
10 minutes. Because that's all I got in me. I can't stay in any enclosed establishment for more than it takes for me to order some takeout and get the hell out of there.
And get out. Right.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm not playing with y'all. There's reports from Israel that the vaccination, people who the Pfizer shot, which I have in my blood, mm-hmm. Israel is saying that they are no longer considering people who have the double shot of COVID, rather the vaccine from Pfizer to be fully vaccinated, and they're recommending a third vaccine, a third shot, a booster shot. So as I process that information, the amount of time that I'm going to stay in any enclosed restaurant to get food to go is decreasing. Like when I was vaccinated, I was hanging out. I was like, okay, hey, I'm in this restaurant, I'm at this barbershop or whatever. No, you got about 5 minutes worth of time that I'm willing to spend inside of any building during this Delta variant.
That's it, dude.
Delta variant,
because
rather.
Look, and now because I see that they are already offering the third booster shot for people with immunocompromised systems here in the States. So I already did my research. I'm just like, okay, do I need to go ahead and get on that list? I'm like, all right, I think I'll probably wait to do that third one. So I'm like, I got maybe 2 more months before they start doing the third doses. So
So I'm laying low until I get mine. And listen, I ain't got clearly on this show, we got no problem with the science of vaccines. As soon as it is available for me, I'm going to get the third booster shot. Yeah. And I'm willing to take it live on the air if people who are anti-vax and people who want to take ivermectin, however you pronounce it, that dewormer that's got a lot of evangelicals out here crapping on themselves, literally. They are crapping out literally their intestines because they are foolish enough to follow the advice of people like Fox News, or maybe you're even dumb enough to follow the advice of people like Jimmy Dore. Somebody please cut that and send it to him. I'm not listening to these clowns and having my intestines run out of my cheeks because I am more afraid of the science of vaccination than I am taking horse dewormers. Like, these people lost their minds, man.
Like, where are they getting this information from that they think that these things will help them out and we're going to cure these diseases? Like, what scientist or medical professional did you talk to that said this horse dewormer is going to make you feel better, is going to cure all of your COVID? What the freak? That's not it.
Ivermectin. I pronounced it wrong. Yeah. Wait, James, did you? I thought I heard something earlier. Did you say during one of the breaks, oops, I did a bend?
I had a bend moment. Dad, where's the bend moment?
Because y'all know, as smart as I like to fancy myself to be, I can't pronounce most of these words y'all be throwing at me. I be like, man, whatever. I'm just gonna speak in my Mississippi dialect. If I sound country, if I sound like a Bama, that's fine. Because it was ivermectin until my producer just told me it was invermectin.
Right. Don't worry. I've been reading that word wrong all weekend. Ivermectin.
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, cool.
Wait a minute. See, David, that's why you can't trust white people. I was right the first time. It's ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
There I go, trusting white folks.
Hey, they get you.
Hey, I'm sitting back here multitasking, typing while I select clips. I'm allowed to be typo king.
Okay. Yeah. Well, play those funky clips for us, white man. What you got for us today, David?
I am so thrilled that Donald Trump was president when we needed vaccine. And he got the government out of the way enough so they could develop some vaccines very quickly. If this guy that's president now had been president last year, this country had been in even more trouble than it is now. And he's only been there about 8 months. But he got government out of the way so it could be developed quickly. The trouble is, these vaccines were only approved for emergency use. Now you have Pfizer that's been approved, but there's so much long-term they don't know. And now that the pandemic is under more control, we need to get back to our freedom of saying, look, here's my pre-existing conditions. Let's talk about which one I should take, if I should even take one. And let me tell you, the more that we find out, I don't know if y'all saw, but a month after President Trump left office, the American Journal of Medicine came out with a great article that they had discovered a regimen of medication that when taken together early in COVID, that you may have heard of it, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, a Z-Pak, azithromycin, zinc, and Dr. Bartlett from Midland recommends a steroid nebulizer. And Dr. Bartlett called me 2 or 3 days to make sure I was doing the nebulizer. Apparently, according to him, the steroid helps coat the alveoli cells, as I understand it, and it makes it harder for the COVID virus to infect them.
That is an elected official by the name of Representative Louis Gohmert. His middle name is Buller. Louis Buller Gohmert, from the state of Texas. And there it is, James. You said, where are they getting this misinformation? They're getting it from our political leaders, and they're getting it from news outlets like Fox News and some independent media that do things similar that we do. My question is how do you there's only one, not a question. I'm gonna make a statement, James. I want to get your thoughts. There's only one way you can consistently be able to get people to talk on the same talking point every single day. And that is through messaging. There is an email that went out, and for whatever the reason, whether it be financial, political, whatever reason, there is an email that went out to people like Louis Gohmert, Fox News, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Jimmy Dore, all of those right-wing reactionaries who like to fancy themselves to be journalists, but they're jokes. They are the ones who received that message, that email, and now all of them are talking on the same dangerous talking points that people should go out there and take horse dewormers. And this is why we've seen such an uptick in reports to poison control, because people are getting sick and literally their intestines are starting to come out in their stool because they're so ignorant to believe. And I want to be careful. They are ignorant, but their ignorance is provided by people like Fox News, entities like Fox News. What do you think, James?
Right. First of all, good morning, Rebecca.
Oh, I didn't even see because I'm flying blind.
You know,
I don't see
Ben,
you.
I
I don't have
his screen on.
I don't have my screen on. You know, hey sis, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah. Good
Well,
morning.
I mean, we got good morning, Rebecca.
Keep that screen on. That's what Rebecca
Okay,
said.
let me see. Let me see what Rebecca is wearing. Hang on. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? What are your
Good.
thoughts,
How are you?
Rebecca?
We're good. We're good. I was like, dang, you know.
Like, dang, I ain't here today. Okay,
Y'all know I like to
I'm
just
logged
listen. I just like to listen. By the way, if you're listening, you need to put on headphones so that you can get the whole experience for the audience, because that's why I don't look, because it's a better listening experience for me. Rebecca, these people, this is like, I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but man, like, how do they get away? How's nobody handled this? And I want to be very careful with my language because somebody will hold it against me. But to be sure, if you tell me something and I believed you, and I believed you because of the entire, everybody's repeating the same thing all the time to the right-wing audience. And then I turn around and I get sick and somebody in my family dies. I got to come see you, Louis Gohmert, Ron DeSantis. But they don't think people, I guess they don't believe people actually would get mad at the fact that their leadership is causing our children to die.
So what I will say, and something's up with my throat, been up with my throat for a few days. But what I will say is just hearing and watching and listening to this this man, Gomer, who's representative, right? And who is supposed to be a leader, tell you that you should take ivermectin, whatever. But
Right,
the
girl.
fact that he is telling people to take this, and it's for horses, and for him to tell people to take something that's meant for animals. And I know how barbaric some white folks can be, and black folks. And I know how we've seen them try to be animals. There was just like a whole event where they were trying to be cows. You guys are not the same as a horse. You're not the same as a cow.
You are not a
Nothing-
cow.
Any of that. You are not. You're not a dog. You're not any of that. Let me tell you something. Okay. Do not take the ivermectin. That goes for black folks. That goes for white folks. So we can all be animals out here in these streets or think we're animals. And men can be dogs every now and then. But yes, it's just like, but do not take the ivermectin. It's not like, are you guys serious? Are you guys doing this because you want so bad to make sure that you die a Republican or a conservative or somebody who stood on these raggedy views of America that tells you that you're so American and you're such a free person living in a free country that you can do whatever you want, and you took the red or the blue pill because it represented America, and that's trash, right? So y'all need to stop risking your lives for a country, like I say, that will replace you. When COVID-19 first happened, they didn't have it. A lot of y'all that did not want to stay masked up, right? And saying that was your rights. We were like 2 hours into COVID-19 and y'all was in the streets rallying and saying at the hospitals saying that you did not want to wear no mask. Y'all was out there when y'all died, because there was a lot of them out there that just
How did death work out for you? How did death work out for y'all?
Let me tell you, remember they were piling up your bodies because they couldn't put you in no cemetery for real? Remember nobody can come to your funeral? And what happened? The world moved on, right? America moved on. The same one that you thought that was going to memorialize you for not wearing your mask and saying that was your right to freedom.
You spin.
Remember that?
Shoot, she just snatched all the laughter out of my soul.
Did, boy, damn, Rebecca.
Damn. I'm looking behind me. I'm looking behind me for the book that I have from the conservative radio host Phil Valentine. I didn't realize who he was. He's dead now, because he denied he was of that hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, Donald Trump stupidity, and he's dead. But he was relatively intelligent enough guy to put together a book called The Conservative Handbook. And of course I bought it because, well, if their lies are in a book, I'm going to read their lies so that I can combat them. This fool is dead. Smart man, dumb as hell, dead because of COVID-19.
I think I realize, and I know why these people are taking ivermectin. Whatever the hell it is.
I'm so afraid of what you're about to say, bro. What are you about to say?
It's for horses. They trying to get that horse meat. That's what they think is going to happen. They think it's going rogue.
Somebody said that in the in a thread. Somebody did mention that was like why they were taking it originally or something.
Oh, because wait, because COVID-19 literally causes erectile dysfunction.
It does.
Y'all so stupid out there. God.
I knew it. I knew that's what it was.
David, do you have a supplementary clip that that can follow this? What do you have next, David?
They have nothing that's going to help my judgment that's coming up on this nation. The only help for the child of God in this hour is the shed blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. You better learn that, and you better learn it fast, or you're going to chase vaccines until there ain't no vaccines left. I don't care if you got one, go for it. God bless you if that's your choice. But I'm telling you, if that's where your faith is, you're going to be in for a big disappointment. God is going to force you to look to him. These vaccines are going to quit working on every corner until this nation falls to her knees and repents for dead babies and repents for the sodomy of this nation.
You're a charismatic preacher, but you suck. Go, Rebecca.
Oh no, because David had our mics muted. He does not like. So let me tell you, David does not like when we say a thing when
over these videos.
He will mute us. He does not like any commentary during these clips. Okay, and that is just what that is. It's okay.
Y'all didn't hear what I just said?
Nothing at all. You was all muted, bro.
Talking at one time.
I was going off on this bed.
Then he was quickly unmuting. So
okay, let's start again.
Yeah.
This is right-wing pastor Shane Vaughn, and he's one that is followed regularly by the Right Wing Watch. I was just really talking about the fact that he's so energetic with his stupidity. Like, he's so passionate with his preaching of stupidity that, bro, you're not a good preacher, first and foremost. So if you think that, let's get in the pulpit and see who could do it better. That said, the main thing is that you're using the pulpit. I don't care if it's your office. I don't care if it's your internet. It is still the pulpit, and you're using it to get your constituents killed. How many funerals have you presided over, Sean? Shane, whatever the hell your name is. Go ahead, Rebecca.
no, it just I don't know why he was screaming at us. I was just like,
Yeah, he came in
you
like real
strong
aggressive.
and yeah, he was really strong and wrong. And using the word of God and saying, and here's my thing about it. The God that look, I'm smacking my lips. Sorry. The God that I serve, like I be feeling like I don't know who they representing, but for me and the God that I serve, you know, because everybody can have a different God. Mine just happens to be black. And the God that I serve, he just literally
Black.
He would not just pick up a certain kind of people and just not love them and put pain on this particular type of person, separate groups just because of that. And then he would not want you to go out there. A lot of these things aren't God. That's how I be feeling sometimes.
Right.
This be like, it's him. The people it's people like these that are like false prophets or false leaders who go in and tell people to take ivermectin, tell people to jump in the middle of traffic for in the name of the Lord, in the name of America. Tell people to put like our leaders first. If we look like, for instance, and I'm just gonna say this and y'all can fight me later, Kanye West, right? Who did this gospel album before and did all this and says, you know, Jesus loves and all that, turns around and hugs, remember, like literally makes love to Donald Trump in the like for public view, right?
Yeah.
Like literally, he said slavery was a choice. He was married to a white woman, still currently, I don't know what they're doing right now, but currently married to a white woman. And to come out of his mouth and say slavery was a choice, okay? And then to turn around and make good with Donald Trump. And I understand a lot of people were saying, but because of Kim Kardashian relationship with Donald Trump, they got a lot of people out. And that's what's crazy. You guys don't see the privilege there. We had to use a white woman like to go ahead and go in a place where we already had so many lawyers and people who are already in place who've been fighting for these black people to come out of jail for so long. And her privileged relationship with Donald Trump. And because Donald Trump liked the fact that this black man said that slavery was a choice, and he he's a good choice for president. Because of that, Donald Trump said, okay, check mark. Who y'all need out of jail? Let's make it happen. When there are so many other people who are working out in the streets and doing all of this. Anyways, I say all that to say, all of that, this fake prophet, these are the leaders. We saw how many people went to that concert and potentially had themselves exposed to COVID-19 or had COVID, and then heard all of this stuff from this man who was supposed to be telling you about Jesus, had Marilyn Manson, on the stage, and it's supposed to be representing Jesus, but then had this representation of I don't know, evil, of a man who is in what is he in trouble for, sexual abuse for something?
Yeah, I don't know the details. I don't know the details of Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, it's the allegations, and now basically it's just not Donald Trump, but he can be Donald Trump, mirrored Donald Trump. Kanye West does not care who or what he affects in his sending his message. And then we have people like this. We see this every day, these false evangelicals who say they believe in something. But this particular, the God that I serve does not separate groups of people. He walked with everybody, that the same ones that we want to go to the Old Testament and stick to the Old Testament about. We people do not want to refresh and be like, there was change. There was something that happened. There was a word that was written. Okay. There's somebody who died, if you believe. But a lot of people in America will go with this one thing, this one message, these people. But what happens is, this is where the danger comes in. A lot of these false prophets, and they don't only come in the form of evangelicals, they come in the form of social media influencers, and they come in the form. They come in the form of the media. They come in the form of a lot of different ways. Activists, a lot. Send you out to go do the wrong thing. And once you did the wrong thing, if you think that they're about to tap on your door and check on you, you thought wrong.
All the way wrong.
They're not. They're not.
Kanye crazy, but his album banging. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit hard. I love it.
See,
I don't listen to. I ain't with Kanye weird ass shit. But his music is great, and that album, classic.
Now, I ain't like that he stole a sample from Brianna Barbeau, and
who was that?
Though everybody knows her. That's the one that did that clip of the gospel song. She's been viral for that song for a while.
Oh, okay.
And
what
he
song is
stole
that?
her
Oh, the one.
arrangement.
Okay.
He stole her arrangement. But anyway,
it's a shame. It's a shame what happened to Kanye. I used to.
She checked him on social media.
The Kanye I'm the Kanye that I'm compartmentalizing. I don't regard this current Kanye. He is this Kanye doesn't care about black people. I'm still compartment.
In his own voice, Ben. In his own voice, as he told the world during the
Katrina.
The Katrina, the Katrina relief efforts on television. He grabbed the microphone and says, George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's how we feel about you, Kanye. That's really how we feel about you. You really do not care about the well-being, to me, of black people, because if you did, a lot of the things that you're doing now would not be the way it is.
I think late registration Kanye cared about black people, but this one,
I ain't gonna say he doesn't care about black people. I ain't gonna say that. That man got some mental issues. He really has some mental psychological issues.
Yeah, and we're all community enablers.
You notice that, and I don't think it's that he doesn't care about black people. It's just people use the power that they have to try to get what they want. Lil Wayne did it. Not Trippie Redd. What's the other boy name? 6ix9ine. It was another one. They all use this power that they got to get what they want. Lil Wayne got commuted jail sentence time. Kim used her power, and it wasn't a white woman they went at. It was Kardashian. That's a different kind of white person right there. So they use what they got to get what they want, and I hate that it was that way. But I mean, they were able to get some people out of jail, but it shouldn't have took all of that.
But I will say, regardless, I don't disagree with you at all, James. Regardless of what he is dealing with.
White Armenian. There we go.
There is an Aryan race in those communities. There is. And you know who told
me
white? A woman from Iran. She told me she's part of the Aryan race of her culture. You know, you have the white race, and we have black Cubans and we have white Cubans. You see what I'm saying? She's white. So, and she knows she's white. There's nothing other about her but her hair color. She represents both too. Some days she can be white with a slick back, and some days she can be black when she's just showing ass.
Let me tell you, well now we'll discuss the ass variable in the after party, because that's how we know she ain't black.
Yeah.
Let's go to this clip. Let's go to this clip, David.
She wins.
I like yo. She all right, but I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Yeah, but
of your analysis.
but I don't blame her. I hate that she's able to just use her goddamn privilege like that though, and that's what it is. She just uses her
white
power.
privilege, yeah.
But hey, at least if we have some white allies that's willing to do it, I hate that we had to do it, but let's use this shit to get.
Use your privilege for some good.
Use your privilege for good.
Yeah, you're using your privilege for good, but how you and then your husband on two different parts of the spectrum?
Child, that's why they divorced now. Child.
Nah, she pulled up to the concert in the wedding dress. They're allegedly, but that's just allegedly. But anywho,
Child, I hate all that crap. It be all for show. Like, why y'all doing all that? Y'all just trying to get people to more views.
It's giving love and hip hop.
It's giving another reality TV show.
It's giving love and hip hop teaser vibes where they get on the social media and start fighting for no reason. They not really fighting, but they about to make a check, and then the season comes out the next. It's
a lot. It's right.
We only got a few minutes before we go to the after party. We're gonna do the after party behind patreon.com/like it or not. I recommend everyone should be a patron, because you ain't getting it like this anywhere else, and you didn't get the patron party like we got on Friday night.
Well, how was the patron party?
It was wonderful.
I wasn't gonna say anything about you not being there, but since you brought it up, it was spectacular. It was great.
Yeah,
that's good.
Pascal pulled up.
Pascal pulled up. Yeah.
Was he dancing? What was he doing?
He was just doing the Pascal thing. With his voice.
He seems like a talker.
Drinking Haitian rum.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he was having bubble cool.
And I met.
Yeah.
Is Pascal a common Haitian name? Because there's another Pascal. I didn't know.
That's why I say Pascal is a very common Haitian name.
Because there's another brother who worked for the black.
It goes both ways, women and men.
Oh, okay. There's another brother named Pascal Roberts who was a part of. I forgot the name of the exact show, but he's a part of the Black Agenda Report with Glenn Ford and Bruce Dixon. So, and he's brilliant too. So, two Pascals intersecting with us. But the first Pascal came to the party Friday night, and I suggest everyone, so we can finish the rest of these shows. Join us for the after party that starts in 7 minutes. Patreon.com/like it or not, and get access to ad-free content as well as the patron party. Before I used to say double the content, but we're live for so long. There's just no way we're going to be able to provide double the content for our patrons, but our patrons get access to the after party. So we do have one more clip before we go, but we got 6 more minutes live before we close the doors. Rebecca James, what else are y'all looking at before we throw this next clip up?
New Orleans, did we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah.
They're being battered right now, and you know what I was just thinking, like I had a hard time sleeping because of course I was monitoring it. My uncle and his wife is there, 2 babies, they just had one. And I was just there, and I'm just like, dang, like why is everything touching so close to me? I'm like, I'm a little tired of every like disaster happening so close to me, but that's me being selfish. The world is just under attack right now. We're just going through it, I should say. And New Orleans is really going through it. So just not only pray for them, let's try to think the best for them. I know there's a lot that we can say, oh my God, they're going to get beat up. So I tried my best to stay through the night and just stay up in prayer, but also be like, they're going to get through this, and we'll have conversations with them on Tuesday about it. Like, like they'll be okay. I know that whatever destruction is going to happen from Mother Nature is going to happen, but the people that did stay, it's not going to be news that's devastating. You know what I'm saying? If we just put that out there and just grab that, and
they can make it, that they'll survive.
They'll make it through. And people have to understand that, I saw this on social media and I totally agreed with it, because if you're not from a place that a hurricane state or hurricane city, you won't understand. If you ain't got no money,
you can't escape.
You can't just get up and evacuate.
You can't.
If you're not living next to an evacuation area, you don't have a vehicle, you can't just get up and go. Not every area had that assistance, or people were coming out and helping to get them out to go somewhere, because they might live in the middle of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Like when you live in these kind of states, I know, because we had to hunker down all the time in the middle of category 4, 5s, 3s, 2s, and 1s all the time in our home. All the time
in Florida,
in Florida, in South Florida. And so like I totally get this. And then, my uncle having to go through this once before, well, he goes through this anytime there's a hurricane, but with Katrina. And we're to the date, the anniversary of it, the 16-year anniversary, 16-year anniversary. And now they're going through this again. And the city was about to be locked down because of COVID. This was the week, and they're going through. So I just really pray no lights, you guys. No, I'm talking about all of it.
A million.
No electricity. No electricity
people.
in the Orleans area, and including New Orleans, and there's just no electricity. And think about those hospitals.
Yeah,
already that are already packed with COVID patients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think about it.
That is just terrible. And then on the anniversary of Katrina, it's just like, my gosh.
Yeah, on the exact anniversary. What? Come on.
Right. And I'm just hoping and praying, I think the thing is with Katrina, somebody said this in the chat that made sense. It wasn't the hurricane itself with Katrina. It was the levee.
Infrastructure.
Yeah,
And infrastructure.
It was
Because
terrible.
When I went down there, guys, please understand. I went down there and saw 16 years later, blue tarps.
Yes.
I went down there and still saw areas that looked like they were devastated yesterday. Yes, I see the light. I'm going to fix it. But yesterday, like as if it was just that I was right here in these streets that they are showing just last weekend, guys. And I went through the area like towards where my uncles live. And he doesn't live in an area that was bad at the time before Katrina. It was considered like middle class, right? Now it looks like poor. Like they did not do a thing, you guys. And I hate to say that, to put New Orleans out there, but honey, there was no fixing. I don't know where their relief funds went. And it's funny because when I went there, a girl that worked at a consignment store pulled me to the side and she was like, because I had got I got Haiti tattooed on my leg.
Oh, is that what you get? Okay.
Yeah, I got Haiti tattoo on my leg when I went there. And this girl was like, oh, that's pretty cool. She was at the consignment store next door. And she just stopped me and our spirits kind of aligned. She was like, you know what? The people of Haiti remind me of the people of New Orleans. It's like we go through so much, we get battered all the time. We don't get assistance like people think. All the money and stuff doesn't really go to where they need to go. And a lot of these places we're all underpaid. So it's like we don't have any fixing. So we do what we can with what we have ourselves.
Yep.
A lot of the historical things. Yeah, a lot of the historical things just look beat down. And I'm like, oh, I know the monument that they were talking about. There's a monument with what's his name on the side. It's the jazz player, and he's on the side of the building. And I saw that, and I was just so amazed, and I stared at it. I didn't even take a picture. I just stared at it. And I said, wow, this is really, really cool. And now it's all messed up. It's all messed up. The building is just to pieces. And
wait, the mural.
That's what he was saying online.
Or
I retweeted it. Let me go see who it was.
Yeah.
And that mural is gone.
The mural, he said that, and he was upset. What's his name? Wendell Pierce. He said the historic landmark of jazz destroyed in Hurricane Ida, the Karnarski building, a childhood landmark of Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's what it was. I just literally was riding past and I saw it, and I was just so amazed, and I stared at it and stared at it and stared at it, and I just stared at it in love with it. And because I told you, as a child, I go there every summer. I never got a chance to go really downtown and enjoy, and to see and to know. I was just there and saw it, and this man is pissed. He said, listen to what he said, guys, and I totally agree. And this is Wendell Pierce. He said, 100 years of history demolished in an hour because of the neglect of the city of New Orleans. Great cities celebrate and restore their cultural landmarks. So understand, a lot of what's happening is not just to third world countries. It's almost like the third world cities here in America. They will do all this relief and money and all of this stuff doesn't go to the people. It doesn't go to the people. Government will hold that money. This happens here too, guys. And when I sat down with that girl and we talked about that, she was like, girl, if we were getting money, New Orleans would have been redone a long time ago. When I walked through the streets, guys, the floors were still coming up. The ground, the cement, the sidewalks were still coming up. You better watch out, or you will probably be down like 6 feet or something. Like if you miss a step. It's the infrastructure from 16 years ago. You're telling me there was all the relief fund money. There's nothing. I had to go to a certain part, and it's literally just like night and day. One side still looks like it was hit by Katrina yesterday. The other side of the street, gentrified. When I say gentrified, it's old money on that block. Whether it's black old money or white old money, it's big houses, and they are there, and they got their gates, and they literally do not see what happens anywhere across the way. And that is an American way.
Now let me tell you now, because I love New Orleans. Go once, twice a year as much as I can, and know a lot of the history. A lot of that after Katrina, a lot of those people were displaced because these were the wards, especially the Fourth Ward down there.
Yep.
These were a lot of places that were populated by black people.
Mm-hmm.
So when the storm hit, it cleared out. They displaced to Atlanta and Houston.
Yeah.
What happened is a lot of those people didn't go back. So a lot of those people kept that money from FEMA, because I know a lot of them got that money, but they never went back. They stayed. So any of that housing or anything that they would have been able to go back and build up, a lot of them didn't have confidence in the government. For one, like you said, they didn't have confidence in the government that they were going to get anything, and they knew that they weren't going to repair or fix up those neighborhoods like they should have. So they left. And when I tell you, like the last time I went, like you said, Rebecca, some of those areas, because I went to New Orleans maybe the month or two before Hurricane Katrina hit. So looking at it before versus how it looked after, totally night and day. Totally night and day. And still to this day, it's like you going down Bourbon Street, you still got that one strip, but like you said, you cross over a certain part, totally different.
They will take care of Bourbon Street. They will take care of Bourbon Street because that's the point. So even though it's trash all over the floor, they almost want it to look like it's just a drunken night and just that vibe.
Yep.
Literally, they will make sure Bourbon Street is surviving. If you go the next street over, it's different on the left. If you go the next street over on the right, it might be poor as hell. But the one on the left side is like going towards the flourishing gentrified area. And you're totally right. A lot of my Uber drivers were telling me they were displaced and came back. One girl told me that she did never come back until she was older. But she went to Atlanta when she was a kid, and she was like, she missed home so much. Like she really loved Atlanta, but she's like, that's not her. It's not who she is. So she came over back to Louisiana. And she said, like I said, she said second home is Atlanta, but she loves Louisiana and New Orleans. And that's just hearing her accent and her love for New Orleans. It was like, to come back here, but to see the difference. She said it's a big difference though.
Big difference.
The living, the style, the way it is a big difference. And I'm telling you, the Moon Blanc capitalized. Moon Blanc, blondes are whites. They capitalized on the disappearance of the displacement of the black people during Hurricane Katrina. It was like, hey, these homes are great. These areas are great. This is something that we can literally come in on, build a tattoo shop, build a strip, build some homes, or take that big home that's over there, because that looks like old money. And let's make it, let's improve it. Put a gate up, and that whole strip, you guys, I wish I just took some video. And this girl was like, there go Beyonce's house that caught on fire on the street. And I'm like, how do you know that? It was our Uber driver, another Uber driver. She was like, yeah, everybody knows that. And I'm just looking like this whole strip is just with rich people, just rich people. And that whole side, it's almost like the Bourbon Street and all those strips, but nobody goes to the side. It's quiet. It has a nice ice cream shop. It has a nice this. It has all of this. It's so weird. It's just how it is over there. It's so weird. But no, it's not. I can't say it's weird all over the world, but it's not something that's uncommon. It is something that we see all over America. But when we see it happening in another country, we're just like, the government over there, it's terrible. They do nothing for their people. Yet there are people right here in America who are saying the same story, who are preaching the same word, and yet we try to act like it ain't happening right here. We try, but it is. Okay?
Like it or not.
Yeah, I'm so ready to go back to New Orleans. I need that in my life. I love the culture, the people. It's just like you can go anywhere in New Orleans and somebody's gonna stop you and tell you a story.
Tell you a story, be sweet to you, be loving to you.
Be loving and I love in the accent.
And then they speak Creole to me.
I know you love it. I know you love it, Rebecca.
Yeah, I love they speak Creole to me. And it's like hearing my nephews and just speak and talk, and my cousins and talk. They have the most adorable accent. Even my uncle, who's straight from the boat, honey, literally from the boat. He literally has a New Orleans accent with his Haitian accent, and it's like he sings everything, like, hey baby, like he just talks.
Hey baby,
baby, when you gonna come back down here to the store and get on city of crawdads, baby?
I love it. I need to go find my
water
husband.
boy.
I'm a husband.
All I'm thinking about is
being in Atlanta.
Water boy. Everything's a double to you, mama. The Cajun. Listen, Rebecca, you said something that I want to go to the after party on, because I dismissed church when you said this. The service was over. We got third world cities in America, and we complaining about third world countries. I got nothing to add to that. I went to the audience and started talking to the people because you said a word. That said, y'all bless this show by going to patreon.com/like it or not and getting access to the after party, because I have a feeling we about to turn the hell up. DJ exclusive. It's your world.
It's your world.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man, and migrate on over to the after party link, patreon.com/like it or not, patreon.com/like it or not, and get your tail on over to the after party. We'll be ending the stream here soon, so make sure that you go, man. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all again for joining this morning, man. We will see y'all in the after party. Make sure that y'all stay tuned and keep it light, keep it tight, keep it right. All right, y'all. Justice Draconis, good morning, Justice.
I'm in line with the stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the
shout out to Mara. Good morning, Mara Cerise. Good morning, sister. Chris CCC, good morning, Chris. Derek Fuller, good morning.
Talking to their grip and their face be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all with the same, we all wanna make
Industrial Lawrence, good morning, brother. Justice Draconis, love you too, man. I hope you get you some rest.
From the bib, take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beast with the slap, pin myself on the map. You long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves where I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. I'm burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror, do it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that, and he cleared down.
All right, y'all, make sure that you migrate on over to the after party. This stream will be ending soon. The chat will still be on. If I'm not mistaken, you can still chat here, but you won't be able to see. So move on over to the chat room, y'all, at the after party link that's in your Patreon if you don't have it, y'all. Get on over there. We'll see y'all over there, man. After party. And for not those who gotta leave out, man, we will see y'all in the morning. Love y'all, mean it.
I just bang on the set list, going past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young, to me reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace.
Laura Estrada, good morning to you, Laura. Right Church, Wrong Pew, good morning. Carly Wynn, good morning. Carly Band of Strays, good morning. Taj Newby, good morning, brother. Priscilla